Oh, I like her intro. That's
Hello.
nice.
Hello. We are live, and I have
Hi.
Shari this morning. I am delighted to have her back again, and she'll tell us a little bit about how she got into this. We're going to talk about politics. There is so much going on,
Oh, God, yes.
and we're here. I feel like when I started, I opened up this morning, I felt like the angel Raphael. I feel like healing is energy is coming through for everybody watching this. I'm sending you love and good vibes. So good morning and welcome to the chat, and welcome for everybody who's watching this and rebroadcast. You can leave comments, and yeah, so I am just so delighted to have Shari here. I've worked with her before, and she's just the sweetest reader, just the real deal,
Oh,
just
thank
like
you.
like you, yeah, like your girlfriend, the real deal. So she is my girlfriend, big girlfriend. All right,
I'm
so
still learning as I go. So,
yeah, just no ego, no pretense, really just real, you know, real people. So that's what I like. Okay, so and would you tell us a little bit about yourself, Shari?
uh, well, I've had abilities since I was about 4. I used to would hear a voice talking to me. Think Darth Vader's voice. That's what it sounded like.
Huh.
And when asked, "Who are you talking to?" I would say, "God," because that's who I thought it was. And this voice would just talk to me and tell me things. Okay, and playing and doing my thing, and this male voice talking to me. And then when I was 9, uh, we went to visit family like 4 states away. We arrived in the middle of the night. And when we walked in the front door, I stopped and went, "Oh, I've been here before." And everybody's like, "No, you've not been here before." And I'm like, "Yeah, and this room is here, and this room is here." And I proceeded to tell them every room in the house. And my mother just looked at me and went, "Oh, you got the gift too." And that's all she said. End of discussion.
Oh,
Never talked about it. I
okay.
only found out more of what other family members had when I would eavesdrop when she and her sister would talk, and they would talk about stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd listen in because I didn't understand what was going on. Around 12, I discovered I could go out of my body like astro travel, but I was afraid to go anywhere. I would only hang out like at the ceiling level and just watch myself in the bed. And I was scared to leave because I was scared if I got lost, what would happen if they tried to wake me up? Would they think I was dead or something? So,
Yeah.
and there was no one to ask. There wasn't internet.
Yeah.
There weren't any psychic shops, in the town or anything like that. And I didn't ask my mom because she always seemed kind of closed off about it. I found out later it was because the kind of gifts she had, she did not like, and therefore she didn't like to talk about it. Um, she would see people's death before it happened. Like a day or
Oh.
two before somebody would die, she would see it. If it was like a traumatic type of death, an accident or something like that, and she hated it. She didn't like it, so she
Yeah.
didn't talk about it. Um, and then I kind of locked it away for several decades and just pretended that I didn't hear that, I didn't see that, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's not real. It's not real. That's what I kept telling myself. And I didn't want anybody to know because I figured everybody think I'm crazy, right? I mean,
Yeah.
granted, it was the 70s, but still, um, it just, you didn't want, at that age, you don't want people thinking
Yeah.
you're nuts. And,
I always say, well, you're not crazy, you're psychic. That's what they told me.
right. But at the time, there wasn't anybody around to tell me that. So,
Right. Of course. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was scared to ask anybody why can I do this or do that? And then, a couple of years after my husband died, I started things started happening again, and that was right about the time the ghost shows all started coming on TV. And I
Oh.
would watch them, and I would watch other psychics that would come on those shows. I'd be like, "Well, God, how do they do that?" I was just
Yeah.
intrigued.
Yeah.
And uh, along about the same time as when internet radio first started up, and I found a radio network on the internet called Para X Radio, and they had shows everything from psychics to cryptids
Yeah.
to ETs to you name it. They had somebody doing a show on it,
Oh.
and I started listening, and it was just fascinating. And and then I kind of watched on and off when I had time, and then my mother passed, and shortly after my mom passed, COVID hit, and
Oh.
so here we were all locked down. I mean, I still had my job, thank God I did, but it was like there wasn't really anything to do because campus was closed. There weren't any classes going on, and so I started channel surfing on YouTube, and uh, a reader's channel popped up for a video on my feed one day doing political tarot. And I was like, I didn't know that was such a thing. People
Uh-huh.
read on politics. And then it was like progressive political tarot. And I was really intrigued then. So I started watching her, and watching her, I started getting feed shows fed in from uh, uh, oh goodness, what's her name now? Now I'm going to go blank. Violetta up in Canada.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I've worked with her. Yeah,
Started
she's
watching
a great
Violetta,
reader. Yeah.
and that led me to Kirsten Champagne. What is it? Something Champagne
Uh-huh.
something.
A lot of good
And
readers. Yeah.
I started watching Kirsten, and that led to Linda G.
Oh, okay.
And then from there, it just kind of exploded outwards, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I started watching the different channels. And after a few months, I decided to chat, actually respond in the chat. And Angela Cardamancy Mesquite and a couple of other ladies were like, "Well, it took you long enough to say something. We've been waiting." And I'm like, "How did you know I was here?" And they were like, "We're psychic, remember?"
Yeah. Well, I'm of the belief that everybody is psychic. So I like
Mhm.
it when I do shows. If you're getting a hit, and it doesn't mean if you make a mistake, it doesn't mean you're not psychic. It's there's something to learn if you're connecting with spirit or hearing things,
Yeah.
or you're getting something's coming through. Like this morning, I was meditating and I heard a voice say, "Where did all the money go?" And then I was like, "Okay, yeah, all right, well." And then I turned on MSNBC, which I watch because I do these shows, and I don't watch them a lot. I only watch like a couple of them because they kind of program you to think a certain way, and they don't really tell you what's going on behind the scenes. But he was talking about money and billionaires, and I did a show on that like a couple weeks ago. I was talking about like where did all the money go? Like it isn't like it didn't just like float away or something. That
No,
there's
it's
a
going into
1% of the
offshore
billionaires
accounts. It's going into
have it, and
offshore
they have
accounts.
more than they could ever need in 10 lifetimes. So it isn't about the money, it's about power and
Yeah.
how we're programmed, and how this why we're going through this awakening. And they're buying elections, and even when they're buying the elections, they're still losing. So I'm like, yes, power of the people. And that's kind of like when I
Yeah.
got on here. But
People are finally starting to wake up to what's going on,
yeah,
and more
yeah.
people are
And why
realizing
are
that
we
they're
valuing like it's a piece of paper, like you have a dollar bill? Like, how does that have value? Because we all believe that it has value. We have a group,
well. And at
agreement
one
that this
time,
has value.
that dollar bill was backed up by actual gold in Fort Knox. I
Okay.
mean, it wasn't just
Well,
made up
that
amount.
seems like it has more value. But why aren't? But so I'm all about. My guides have showed me in dreams, like not now, but we're going through the time now to change it, where we all share and people use more bartering, where
Yeah.
there's enough for everybody, because the whole system is breaking down. And that's why people are freaking out. And what do? Let's start a war and jack up the oil prices? That's a question I wanted to ask. Like,
Yeah.
why are they jacking them up on purpose? Do we have an oil reserve, or are they really
We
can't?
do have an
They
oil
really didn't figure
reserve.
that the ships wouldn't going to get through the Strait of Hormuz. Did they
We
really
do
figure
have
that?
we do have an oil reserve in the U.S. Obama used it once when there was an oil shortage and they were trying to jack up prices real high, and he flooded the market with some of our reserves. Not a lot of them, but a little bit, and it helped keep the prices down. And then Biden used it during his 4 years when they tried to pull another stunt to make the oil prices go up. And so he pulled a little bit from our reserves and flooded the market and kind of helped bring all the prices back down. But the current occupant, which is what I call him, um, he's only in it for the money, and he sees his ship is sinking fast. It's things are going
Yeah,
downhill really fast. So he creates all of these chaotic issues. Squirrel, look over there, and squirrel, look over there, and nobody's paying attention to what he's doing. And
yeah,
he's got all this money going out to places, but it's not going to where it's supposed to be going. Everything's being rerouted into private offshore accounts under his name and his name alone. I
yeah,
mean, they've calculated that he's just in this first year, he's already stole billions of dollars from the taxpayers, and then wants to tell us that we can't afford SNAP benefits or Medicaid or
yeah.
that kind of crap.
Which is
And
ridiculous. Yeah, yeah. It's
yeah,
all, and so people were wake. You're right. People are waking up. So should we look at uh why what's going on with the oil prices and the oil? Or we have a lady here, Angel. Should we go back to this?
Angelina Palumbo,
Angel what?
Angelina, Angelina Palumbo. Am
Alumbo.
I
Should we
saying
look
that
at her
right?
question of why they store the
Right.
ballots and then go back to the oil?
Yeah, let's read on the oil. See where the oil. See where the.
Okay. And then we'll get to your question, Angelina. Okay. So what are we asking about the oil? Are they hiking up, jacking up? Do we have a reserve, or are they jacking up the prices?
We do have a reserve, but I don't see. I've never seen the current occupant using it because that would defeat his purpose of chaos. You got
Right.
to remember, people have to remember his main operating system of how he functions and everything he does is through chaos.
Right.
Create as much chaos as he can so everybody is running in all different directions, and he just kind of waddles on through the middle and just, I'll take this and I'll take that. And
Yeah.
um,
Okay.
so I don't think he's going to try to touch the reserves because he doesn't want the prices to go down.
Okay. So you feel like he wants the prices up?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Um,
So should well, so what's the question here?
um,
What are we looking at? Will he be called out on this? I mean, we
uh,
are now, but I mean, on like
uh,
general.
why don't we phrase it like, will will he continue to create chaos when it comes to the oil, because he's trying to make it so that Russia can sell their oil reserves because they've been sanctioned and they can't
Oh,
sell
he's
their
trying to help
oil.
Russia, of course.
So he's
Yeah,
trying to help Russia.
because there's they've
Sell
got
their,
they've got compromise on the Epstein files, and
oh,
he
so do
is
the
really
Arabians.
a gangster. He's from the old school Russian gangsters. That's who these people are, and
Yeah,
they're just they're like this. They're like he wants to be like them or be admired by them, or yeah. So
yeah, definitely. Oops, I dropped cards.
yeah, so he's in cahoots with anybody who is a psychopath or creating chaos or being a dictator. Yeah. So
Well, like I
okay.
said,
So
he
Mercury
lives.
retrograde. I'm sorry, I lost. What is the question?
Is he going? Will he will he continue to cause chaos with oil prices?
Okay. Will he
Because
be called out by like Congress or
yeah,
something?
will he be discovered? Will it come out that he's
Yeah.
doing all of this to make prices go up?
Okay,
So
yeah, because in the news they're reporting like, "Oh my God, what are we going to do? This is terrible. The ships can't go through." They're not saying, "Yeah, he created this."
right now it's
Uh,
Biden's fault.
oh yeah, it's still Biden's fault. So if you're watching this in rebroadcast or now, and you get a hit on this, you can leave your comment. Or a lot of
Let
times,
us
my
know.
viewers are more informed than me, and they'll bring in information and let me know
Yeah,
about certain things. So leave your comment in there if you get a hit, or you have yeah, more information
absolutely.
on this. So I'm always open to that. I'm a psychic and a reader, but I'm always open to book because there's so much information out there politically. I can't know everything.
No, I used to be a news junkie 24/7.
You can't do.
I've had to limit myself with it because it was making me physically ill. And I was like, I can't.
Yeah,
Like now I look at just enough to
yeah. I'm limited in how much I watch too.
and just enough to see what's happening so that I'm aware of what's going on and then I'm done with that. So wow.
Will it? Yeah. Will it be discovered? Of course, his MAGAs, they're brainwashed. They're never going to believe anything. Even if they know he's lying, they want to belong to their little group, so they're
Well,
afraid.
there are some that are starting to cross over, I guess you could say. Um, but it's like watching them pull teeth to do it. The
Yeah.
first thing I get is controlled speech. So he's managed to have all of the networks bought up. So he's controlling the narrative. The only truth on what's actually going on you get anymore is through independent media online. And he's trying to block that the best he can. I also get liberation prevails. So, um, I mean, the one thing my guides have been showing me for the past year and a half is that yes, it will get worse, but it will be better in the end because we win.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I got.
I got succession plans, so he's trying to set it up so. I mean, he thinks he's going to live forever, but I think a part of him realizes he doesn't have much longer to go.
Hmm.
He's trying to set it up so that his family is going to keep running things. Um, and then I got the Nine of Pentacles. So all of this chaos, this is the fruits of his labor. This is what he he thrives on creating chaos. And he's terrified of what's in the Epstein files. So every time something new is getting ready to drop or has just dropped on the Epstein files, he does something. We, kidnap Maduro from Venezuela or Argentina, wherever he's at. We're doing this. We're attacking Iran. It's nonstop. His reactions to when more information comes out, he does something. Maybe trying to make the markets crash or trying to do this. Then I get the Eight of Swords. So a lot of his people feel very bound to him. It feels like a lot of them want to get away from him, but they don't know how because they're so tied up with him and what he's doing that they don't know how to get out of it. And then the last thing I get is the Five of Wands. We're looking at chaos. We're looking at not a civil war like what we had before, but I've always seen a very scaled down kind of civil war. We're
Yeah,
just
we're kind of
people
in it now.
Yeah, kind of, maybe a little bit worse, but
Yeah,
pretty much kind of like it is right now. So,
yeah. I've seen it getting worse before it gets better too, which is unbelievable because how could it get worse? But
yeah,
yeah,
every time you say that, you turn on the news and it's like, oh my God, it got worse.
yeah. So I got the oil, holding the oil. So they have the reserves. They have it. See, she's holding the cup, and karma is coming. So there's only
Yeah,
so long this guy can get away with this stuff. I see that a lot of the billionaires um, really want to get rid of him because he's ruined it for them too. Because now everybody knows who they are and hates them. You couldn't just go along and keep, kind of low level, like hiking the prices up and doing what they've been doing for since the 70s.
yeah,
Since we had the the anti-war protests and power to the people and got abortion rights and all that. So after that, they're like, okay, we're gonna get in there, and they couldn't just keep doing. They had to do this. He and he has a big mouth too. He tells you what he's doing. I
yeah.
mean, it's just so
It-
I feel like they want to get rid of him too. But anyway, I see that there's going to be pushback. There's going to be boundaries or pushback. And then I feel like lawmakers are going to come in, and this may be the Democrats. It may be some Republicans, because this is ruining their reelection. You got in there, you started a war. We haven't even talked about the most important thing is that 13 American service members are dead, and
More
there's
than that now, that another
oh,
plane
more.
went down this morning. Another plane got shot down.
Okay, well, see, yeah, and he goes, well, that happens in war. I'm like, well, why don't you send your sons over there? Why don't you go fight if you think that's what happens?
I
Anyway,
know.
so I feel like this is going. I don't know if the truth is coming out, but I feel like there'll be pushback. This could be truth coming out and pushback
Yeah,
with that. But yeah.
definitely.
So, and I heard there's also 150 wounded, an amputee, traumatic brain injuries in Germany in the hospital.
Well, and he had us strike an all girls school in Iran, and over 170 children were killed in
Yeah.
this Iranian school. What has that got to do with anything? They're not hurting anybody, you know.
Yeah, it's funny how they strike a girls' school and then the Epstein files. I mean, they're they're either so incompetent that they don't know what their bomb. It used to be that school used to be a military facility, but it was all painted in bright colors. So if you would have checked your plans before you started dropping bombs, that wouldn't have happened. But I feel like they don't care.
Well,
They're just like, well,
he doesn't follow plans. He doesn't listen to his generals or the people that are still there that kind of know what they're doing. He's got an idiot ex newscaster from Fox News that's running the Department of Defense, who's got this really weird, jacked up version of what American strength looks like, and it's like that. No, not exactly. Um, Again, it all comes back to chaos. The more they can do to get everybody all freaked out and upset, and ticked off, and he wants to see protests. When I did a deep dive on him a few weeks back, and what I got was he wants to see protesters like getting pushed to their breaking limit and then fighting back, getting physical. So then he can declare martial law and lock everything down.
and stop the elections.
And right. And so far, thankfully, the protesters understand this across the board, and they're not doing that. They're refusing, even when they get attacked, they're refusing to get violent, and it's very. I when I was in his head a couple of weeks ago, he was very frustrated by that and didn't understand why people weren't yelling and screaming at each other instead of just at him. It's like, well, you're kind of the reason why we're mad is because
Yeah. Don't
you
everybody.
created it.
Yeah. Remember, there's a protest on the 28th of
Yep.
March. No King's
No
Day.
King's Day.
I will
Yeah.
be there. So I usually do a show Saturday. It's going to be later in the day because I'll be down there at the No King's Day. Peacefully protest, please. And all of this, I want to say too, is for entertainment only. These are um,
Yeah.
our hits and our reads. It could change. There's free will.
We are not
We could be
expert.
wrong. But this is for entertainment purposes only. But I also, it's for getting information out there and for giving people hope, because we're talking about a really lot of negative, horrible things. But I feel like this person came in, the occupant in the White House came in to really, so we could see all the corruption, because it's just right out there. He destroys everything so that we can start anew, so that our children and our grandchildren will have a better life, and eventually we'll have a better world. But this has been going on Earth since whenever Earth has been here, in this Earth
Since
and
the
other Earths
dawn of
were
time.
here before this. It's the battle. It really is the battle between evil and good. I believe they have demonic forces around them, dark lower
Absolutely.
energies that start wars and plagues or whatever, greed up all the money. I believe this is really us as people taking back our power in so many different ways. And so there is a good ending to the story. Like you see in movies where they're trying to save the world, there's no mistake that there's so many movies like that out, because it really is a theme that is played out. And now we're living through that.
Yeah.
We are going to come, we are creating, it's not just a movie, this is real. We are
I
creating
keep
a
telling
different
everybody
world.
we're the Avengers and he's Thanos. And so we've
Yeah.
got to, Thanos loses in the end. So,
Yeah. So I just want
yeah.
people to know that while we're talking about this, it's not, after you watch this, go for a walk, hug your kids, play with your pets, have a fun Saturday, please. Don't just
Have
keep
to go watch a
watching the
fun
news,
movie.
or because it's almost addictive of like, oh my God, this and oh my God, that. So we need to be informed. We need to know what's going on and take care of ourselves and not pretend like, oh, everything's,
Yeah, no, you
like,
need to be people need to be aware of what's happening, but
yeah.
don't wallow in it is what
Yeah,
I've
and
been telling
take
folks.
days
Just
off, or don't watch this stuff all the time, because it's
oh yeah,
meant,
I take whole days off where I don't
yeah,
watch anything
it's
political
meant to
at all.
upset you. It's meant to make you afraid, give you chaos, keep you up at night, get you
Yeah,
worrying. But we have to take back our, that's why I got the healing energy at the beginning. We have to take back our power and
yeah,
our energy. And every time you have joy, or you create community, or whatever it is that you love to do that's creative, do your yoga, do your gardening, you're taking back your energy and your power, and not letting,
yeah,
because if you let this, make you feel hopeless and just or terrified, then they actually are winning. So don't let them win. Take back your
exactly.
joy,
It's,
take back
you
your
put this
power.
you put this up by Rose Blue, the song by Steppenwolf, Fortunate Son. That was a heartbreaking and very truth telling Vietnam War
Oh,
protest song.
oh,
And it is just as effective today and just as true today as it was then. But this came out during the Vietnam War. Um, and there were some cities and towns and whatnot that wouldn't let the local radio stations play it on the radio because it was speaking against the Vietnam War. And there were quite a
wow,
few songs back then that were protest songs that got blocked. And then, but kids being kids, they figured out a way to get that around. Yeah, there you go, CCR, not Steppenwolf. Um, They did, but it's a great song. I mean, you can go on YouTube and put it in your search, and it'll bring it up, and you can watch it. There, a lot of war movies have used it as part of their soundtrack. So um, but
Okay, so great. So what should we were going to look at the why did they steal the ballots? Should we
that
look at that?
is so yeah. Let's pull on it. I mean, I have my theory of why they did it. Um, let's see what the cards say, and then I'll tell you what I think it is,
I'm
why
looking for
they're
that
doing it.
question, but I don't see it here.
Hi, Peg. As you see questions, if you bring your mouse over to the far right of the person's name, a
Yeah,
little star will show up,
yeah.
and you can click on that star and it'll save that comment.
Oh, okay.
And then you can go into the starred comments column, which will show up after you star some stuff, and then you can pull from there. Um,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay.
Because otherwise, you're spending all your time scrolling up and down trying to find stuff.
Oh, I can scroll too. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not scrolling. It's not. It's stuck. So I don't know why that's not. Shari knows Peg I am punched together in Louisiana. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not able to scroll. Okay. I'm okay. So we're looking at why did they steal the ballots? Which state was that? In Georgia?
I
They stole the
think they
ballots in
just took
Georgia?
Georgia's and now they're
Here she
trying
is.
to pick
I
somebody
asked
else. Um,
I asked why did feds take 2020 ballots from the state? I guess that's Georgia.
yeah, they got them from Georgia, and they were trying to get them from another state, but a lot of the Arizona. Thank you, Rose. Now they're trying to get Arizona's ballots, but there are a lot of Democratic attorney generals for states across the country that are filing a lawsuit against the administration for this, saying that
For the Georgia?
I think Georgia's filed a lawsuit.
Okay,
Pretty
let's look at
sure,
that. Let's look at they're going to win the lawsuit.
and so
Because why did they do it is because they're trying to rig the election.
yeah,
That's,
it makes it easier for them to disenfranchise voters. They can
I
go
feel
in
like
and see
the
who's
Democrats are going to win because I see things psychically. I just saw a judge handing the Democrats. So, whoops, I could be
yeah.
wrong. Let's see what your cards say.
Well, the first thing I got is Page of Wands, so that's messaging. Um, so they're not able to hide this under the rug. It's being talked about. It's being messaged about. People
Okay.
are aware of it, and they're like, wait a minute. Why do you need my voters' information? It's not for you to know. It's private information. Um, and then I get the lovers. So that is the current administration trying to build false relationships with these states to get them to turn over their information. Now, red states are doing it, they're turning over their information, but the blue states aren't. The blue states are filing lawsuits against them. And I personally think they're going to win. Part of that is that's what my guide showed me, and part of that is wishful thinking, I guess you can say. Um, and then I get the Queen of Wands, and that's just telling us to have courage. Don't give
Yeah.
up. Hang on, because they are trying to make us quit. And if they can make us quit, then they win. So we have
Yeah.
to stick to our guns.
Yeah.
And then I get uprooted, taken out. That's what they're doing with these ballots. They're trying to uproot anybody that voted Democratic or leaned Democratic in the last election we had, so they can get them taken off the list. And suddenly you show up on election day and they tell you, oh, we're sorry, you're not registered to
Yeah,
vote.
make
Or
sure you are registered, especially if you're in a swing state. Make
the,
sure any state, make sure you're
anything.
registered.
And
Check
the
it.
closer it gets to an election, start calling daily if you have to make sure that you're still registered.
Yeah.
And they're trying to pass the SAVE Act, which would disenfranchise women from being able to vote. Because that basically says that if your driver's license does not match letter for letter your birth certificate, then you aren't who you say you are. And so you can't vote.
I don't feel like that's going to pass, though.
No, I don't either, but that's what they're pushing for.
One thing you could do if that happens is show up with your birth certificate and then get an order of your marriage license that shows, or
Right.
your divorce certificate that shows
Your name changes. It's
your
like
name change. So you can show up with both, but I don't think
when
we
I
can do that.
when I got my real ID, which is supposed to surpass any of that stuff because you have to show all this information, I had to bring my birth certificate. I had to bring my adoption papers because my stepfather legally adopted me
Oh,
when he and my mom were married. I had to show my marriage certificate when I got married. So it shows 3 name changes for me that can all be sourced from one document to the next, and I kept my married name after my husband died. I didn't go back to my maiden name. I just you know stayed with what I had, and so I mean, I have a real ID, so I shouldn't have to go through all those steps. But if you don't have an updated driver's license or an updated ID card, make sure you go get updated before the next election. If your state offers real IDs, our state made it mandatory. So as of November of 2020, um, you had to get a real ID, or not 2020,
yeah.
2025. You had to have a real ID. And I also got evidence of scandal. So whatever they try to do with these election ballots is uh, voter information, that's going to blow back in their face big time. That's going to be a big scandal, and it's all because of these business tycoons who think, oh well, I've got all this money, I can do whatever I want. I can.
Well, you're not going to be able to buy the people. Remember with Elon who's trying to buy the elections, and no.
And lost horrendously. Yeah.
Yeah, because people were on to you. Yeah, that's what I got. Here is they're trying to capture the votes, hamstring, keep us
Yeah. Yeah.
ineffective by taking by. But this is women's vote or rejoicing. So that's the issue. In the past, they could pay things off, or it's about the votes. And this is a fight. We have a fight on our hands with this legally and, many other ways. This is
Yeah.
standing up and fighting back. But my end result is, I mean, they're going to try to lie. They're going to put out disinformation. There's going to be treachery. They're going to try all manner of things
Oh,
here. But we are going to win in court. I feel like this is the Democrats. This is good, a good solid foundation here. I feel like this case, the cases that are being fought, the one from Georgia, I feel like the ruling is in favor of the people of Georgia. But will this go to the Supreme Court? If it does, it's not going to work. Even the Supreme Court is like they're like this, they're done with this guy because he's not even really for billionaires, because he wants to be in control of them too. I mean, he's getting dementia. He's
getting pushback not just from the courts, especially the Supreme Court, is finally starting to push back. The lower courts have been pushing back. Um, but all those billionaire buddies of his that were so high and mighty behind him, they're starting to pull out too. They're not offering money like they used to
Yeah,
because they're starting to realize
yeah,
that the more damage they do to the American people, the more damage it does to their bottom line.
yeah. Because who's their
Because if they
customers?
make things so crazy, then nobody's buying their stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
You
you can't.
know,
There's only so much. Yeah, and look at this. Pegasus says that Idaho declined to give voter data to the federal government. Uh,
yeah,
so who's going to take this guy down is Republicans because he's too much for them. I mean, he's just outright lying. With the prices are good. Everyone's rich. You're rich. There's
yeah,
no
you're the only one that's
affordability.
getting
It's
money.
not. It's just a made up. It's a hoax. I'm like,
Well,
people.
and even his billionaire buddies that have put so much money into him winning, they're not getting any money return on this. They're
No.
losing money on it because
And
he's
besides, everybody hates them. Where are they going to
yeah.
live? They can't even go to the grocery store. Okay. And so, what else were we going to look at? You know what I think too? I was going to say, I wrote it in my notes, that maybe just an idea to put out there, ask other readers if you watch other shows. Is this like a clue to people that maybe we should get off petrol fuel? Maybe we should get off oil
Ding
because
ding ding ding
we're
ding.
being
Yep.
controlled by other countries and ships. Our whole economy is based on other
I live in
countries and oil
Louisiana.
barons. I
Yeah,
mean,
I live in Louisiana, which is a gas and oil state.
oh,
Big time. And we had our previous governor, who was a Democrat, had quite a few uh, green environmental companies and businesses coming in with windmills and wind power, water power, solar power. They had new companies that were coming in and starting to set up base to do that. Well, he finished out his 2 years, his 2 terms. We're term limited in this state, and the next governor that we have now that came in was super super duper duper MAGA, big time, and he has managed to kill quite a few of the big um, uh, um, sustainable energy companies that were moving in, so that they're now moving out looking for somewhere else to go. Now, we just had Amazon just signed a deal. They're going to build some big data center thing up in North Louisiana, which the farmers and the ranchers are not real thrilled about because that steals all of their water and a lot of their land. And so, and they're giving super duper big tax cuts to these companies to come in, and then they're not having to pay any taxes on the resources they're using. The citizens of Louisiana are going to have to cover that cost. And he's already practically killed the whole Medicaid program. First thing he did as governor was he killed the free breakfast and lunch program for kids from kindergarten through
good
12th
Lord.
grade, which was paid for 100% by the federal government, not the state government. But that was a bridge too far for
Yeah,
him.
these Republicans. Oh,
He had to kill that first thing. He had a lot of ticked off people over that one, people on their side of the aisle because
yeah, that's how
you
they're
know
losing people because you see, they don't care about you. They don't even care if kids have lunch. I mean, they're just there,
no, they
or if
don't.
you die from no health care. They don't care.
And red states always had the option of being able to brag about, well, at least we're not Mississippi, they're at the bottom of the barrel. Well, guess what? Now Louisiana is at the bottom of the barrel Mississippi is actually better off than we are in some of their new programs that they're implementing. So, it's like he's done a
Yeah.
lot of damage.
Yeah, and this is worldwide, and this is why we are waking up and we are seeing this. And thank God we can come on YouTube and report on this, where the mainstream media, even Midas Touch, they have a lot of good stuff, but they're not really telling you what's going on. Like, I mean, they are talking about these data centers. I had a dream about these data centers, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And now I know. It's this
Yeah,
lady, red, red. Okay, that's me. Um,
Red
uh,
Gypsy.
happening in Canada. Yeah.
Yeah,
So all around the world, this is this small class. And why are they doing this? To control everything. And so that, I feel like these midterms are huge. That's why make sure you're registered to vote. Do the no pushing back the No King's Day parade. Protest
yeah.
peacefully. We're pushing back. And even
Make
though
sure
they
your
try to buy
ID is up to
elections,
date. Yeah, make sure your ID is up to date. That
yeah, yeah, check it again. I don't know what website you go on. Do you know where you go on to?
you can go on whatever your state government website is. Like with us, it's Louisiana, it's la.gov, and you can go on and click on the voter registration link and put in your information, and it'll tell you if you're registered to vote for the upcoming election. Now, because I'm handicapped, I'm able to vote by mail. So they literally email me the link to go and download my ballot, fill it out, and mail it in. I mean, I'm just waiting for them to get to the point where I can just fill it out online and send it back. But they're not there yet. At
Oh,
least they're heading in the right direction in that area, unless our esteemed governor decides to kill that program too.
yeah. Good
Um,
luck with that.
but
Let's yeah, vote that guy out.
this, Angelina, yes, this is true. Palantir and another company, and these are like multi-billion-dollar gents, that these are like the cream of the cream of the top. They got their doggy pack in there, who managed to steal a lot of the social security information that was on super duper and redundant servers to prevent hacking from getting the information of our individual information. And they managed to get a big chunk of it, and so now they're able to pretty much do whatever they want with that information. Now, they haven't specifically done anything yet, but I'm waiting for that axe to fall because nobody knows whose information got taken.
Yeah. You ever notice
And
how your phone is spying on you? Like when you'll get on the computer, you'll search for curtains or something. All of a sudden, you start getting ads. Or even if I'm talking and the TV's on, I think my TV is spying on me. And it used to be that people go, "Oh, that's conspiracy theories." Now, and that's what the mainstream media says. Oh, this Epstein conspiracy theories. No, actually, it's not. And we need to start waking up and realizing your phone is spying on you. Your whenever, and they're sending you ads. So just be aware that you're being,
at at work,
targeted.
I'm the purchaser for our department at work
Uh-huh,
where I work at.
uh-huh,
Um, so anything in our department that faculty or anybody needs to order, it goes through me, and I'm the one that places the orders online.
uh-huh.
And I can order some high tech whatever online at 9 o'clock in the morning, and on the Firefox, uh, uh, what do you call it, y'all? Jesus, I can't think of anything. Uh, that server, that what do y'all call it? Jesus, I can't think of it. Um, browser, the Firefox browser. I can order something or look up information on something on a Firefox browser, and by the time I get home 10 hours later, and go onto my home computer on a Chrome browser, and all the advertisements on my pages will be on whatever it was I had ordered that morning at work on another browser. And it's like, it's like, well, how the hell did you know that
Because
I
they're
was looking for
spying
this?
on you. So
Yeah, that.
yeah, the Doge probably took Social Security. They're going to be. I feel like they're going to have. Let's read on. Are they going to be held responsible for taking people's information? The
Oh,
Doge people, because I read on ICE there, and the Democrats are letting them know you're breaking the law. You're going to be they're going to be that you're not, because they've been told they have immunity and they can do whatever they want. And
yeah, he's not going to give
no,
them
they
immunity.
they are they are. I mean, that's kind of blatant, being violent and just kidnapping people off the street and killing people and
Um,
shooting. I mean, they're going to
it
be held responsible.
it came out. I think it was on Thursday that the information came out. One of the young people who worked for the doggy pack, as I call them, who managed to hack into the Social Security servers and downloaded a big chunk of information. And he's been like talking about it online and all over town where he lives for the past couple of months, and trying to get people to help him figure out how to take that information and put it into his own private server to sell off. It's like, dude, that's like,
Oh, they caught him. Okay. Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm looking at questions and I'm trying to listen to you.
yeah, no, I get it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, so they are going to be held. We already have information. I feel like it might take a while, but let's look. Will Doge be held responsible for taking information?
First card out of the pack, I got the tower. It's all coming down, y'all. And
Yeah, a lot of these people are going
then
to
I
jail.
got
We're
the
going to have
Ace of
so many
Swords.
trials. Yeah.
I get the tower. I get the Ace of Swords. So that's telling me right there they're going to be cutting them out. They're not getting. They're
Yeah.
not getting immunity.
Yeah. They're not going to get away with this.
And then I get the Four of Wands. So they think that they're doing this and they're going to go on to happy ever after. Yeah, that's not going to happen either.
Yeah, because they
Um,
told them we'll take care of you. You got immunity, or we'll just,
yep.
you've got.
Then I got stepping down.
Okay.
So there's a lot of them that have been put in positions that they're not qualified to do, that are going to be asked to step down. And the last card I got was explosive situation. So
Ooh, ooh.
this feels like we might see some more really chaotic events happening in the country.
Yeah.
Like the guy that drove his car into a mosque, and somebody shot up a Jewish synagogue or something the last couple of
Yeah. Well, let's say prayers for those families, those people who are
Absolutely.
terrified. That should never happen. Well, I never support violence of any kind. But I feel like we take back our strength, and this may be a while, but they will, because there's a lot of information coming out around Doge and what they did. I mean, the
Yeah.
ICE stuff, we can kind of see it out in just in plain sight. Those guys are going to be. So there's going to be so many cases. It's good they're already starting. The Democrats are starting to bring people in front of,
I saw a video this morning of ICE agents arrested and pulled off the tarmac a commercial airline pilot who was on his way to board the plane to fly it to wherever they were going.
Are you? Oh my
And
God.
they literally pulled this man aside, wanting information and stuff. And he's like, oh my, just, check on the terminal. All my information is there. And they refused to verify any of his documentation that he had on him. And they hauled him out. They arrested him. And so there's a plane full of people can't go anywhere because the captain of the plane just got arrested by ICE. And when it went to court, part of the clip was this judge reacting to this. And oh my God, he was like super duper, super duper duper pissed off about what he saw. He was like, this has got to come to an end right now. And so I'm like, yeah, I wish somebody would listen to you. But
Yeah.
I
What state
mean,
was this? You know what state that is?
what was the question?
Where they took the pilot. What state was that?
I don't remember now. I want to say it's in one of the bigger cities. Um, I don't remember now what state they
Yeah,
were in,
unbelievable. Yeah, just that's what we
but
say. It's going to get worse before it gets better. But pray, ask for Archangel Michael or Jesus. I'm not a religious person, but I'm a spiritual. Ask for protection, and then tune into your guidance. So we might have time for one more question, and then I want to ask people about. I want to ask people about your channel, where they can subscribe and all that.
okay.
So
One of the biggest things we can do to help is to 5calls.org. It's the number 5call, CALLS.org.
yeah.
And it will give you the phone number of 5 congressmen that you can call from your state, and you can call daily and let them know what you think of them and what they're doing. Um, uh, I mean, there's a lot of organizations now out there that are helping people figure out how to focus their anger and put it in the right direction.
Yeah. Your anger is powerful, but don't just use it to, burn up inside, or use it. Try to, ground yourself, be effective, register to vote, call the, what's that number? I wish I could put it up.
It's the number 5orgs.org. O-R-G.
Okay. Yeah. Call that number, call your congressman, tell them to
email them, call them, whatever.
What are we telling them when we call them?
Available to you. So
what do we say?
I mean, if you have a Republican congressman, congresswoman that represents your district, you can just let them know that, you're really ashamed of their actions and the programs that they've supported, and why are they so against the families of your state. I mean,
why are they supporting
this organization, and it will give you like a template of what you can say when you call.
Oh, okay.
So that's from so that way you kind of know what to say when you call them. One of the best things that I've started doing, and I know I've heard several other people talk about it, is surround the other side here. Surround them with love and healing light so that they are bombarded with it. Because when they're bombarded with it, it's really hard to do evil when you've got love pushing in on you.
Yeah, and they can't handle it. They like it when you're in pain and you're sending them hate and anger, because they feed off that energy. So don't let it drain you. I remember, so I've been through this with a couple of ex-husbands. Healers and psychics always attract people who need a healing, unless you don't have any more karma. Hopefully, younger people know you can find somebody who's a nice. I'm married to spirit now, but I remember I was married to this guy, and he was narcissistic, psychopath, whatever. And I started meditating, and I was sending him love. We were sitting in the car, and I started sending him love, and he starts looking at me. He's like, "Don't do that. Stop." Like he couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Because when you break their heart open, then they can feel, if they have any redeeming hope for them at all, you send them love in their heart, and the heart will open. They'll freaking freak out. They don't know what to do, and they might become kinder. That's
It's
what I mean.
happening
But waiting for
almost
someone to change is not a plan because you sent them
right.
love. So don't think
Yeah,
they're
that's
gonna
like drinking poison every day and waiting for your
waiting for
enemies
an
to fall
yeah,
down dead with it. It's like
yeah.
that
So
doesn't
don't
work like that.
waiting for
Um,
someone to change or say they're sorry and be loving is not a plan. But yes, send them love. Mostly send yourself love, send your community, share your love, share the good vibe. We can have a really good, there's no reason at all we have to have wars or fighting. We could, like a lot of Native American tribes and cultures before this taught about
in
how to live here and share and in peace.
in
And
just our country alone, not even taking into account other countries around the world, we produce more than enough food daily that there should be no starving kids whatsoever.
exactly.
I'm going to wrap it up in a little
Yeah,
bit.
we're going to wrap it up. I don't know if we have time for
Oh,
another
I was talking to
question.
my brother. Sorry. He
Okay.
came to ask
Well,
me what I was going to do with some. If you want to make yourself a burger or something, go ahead. But
I love that. You're just down home. It's not, it's at home. Yeah. So
my brother come and poked his head. He's like, "Are you doing anything with that meat in
I
there?"
have Lauren here who's supporting me and helping me with my videos. She's been sitting here the whole time very patiently. So we're going to wrap it up. And
Get a crash
I wanted
course
to
on
mention,
how to do.
what?
I said, yes, she's getting a crash course on how to be a psychic.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody has ability, especially these young
Oh,
people. They're amazing.
absolutely.
And everybody has thoughts and feelings. So, write in the comments your intuitive hits. Also, leave questions for me. I'll be back on Monday. And when will you be back on, Shari?
I will be back at 3 o'clock Central Time today
Oh, you got
with
party time.
Kylie Cranston. Those will be more personal questions, not political questions.
Okay.
She's kind of brand new, and so I'm introducing her to everybody. Here she is, and check it out. And she's got some really good little videos that she's put out on her channel. And then
Cool.
I've got my members meeting later this afternoon, and then every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Central, I have the slumber party, and that's our big party. I usually have anywhere from 4 to 8 or 9 people that join me for a panel, and it's a 1 or 2 card pull for either a naughty or a nice card. So either you get a nice oracle card or you get one of the naughty cards, like a rebel card or a kick-ass card or something like that we pull from. And it's just a lot of fun. It's Saturday night hangout. Let's have a party.
Okay, you're
And I do
partying,
that
girl.
every Saturday. So
All right, so
and
check out
we're
Shari and all
excited.
her on
Yeah,
all day. And where are they
from the
subscribed?
swamp. Voices from the swamp. Just put in
Okay.
Voices from the Swamp in your search bar on YouTube, and it'll bring me right up. And,
Okay. So please help us out and subscribe to our channels. It supports us in the work we do. Okay. And if you're
it's free.
subscribed, check and see if you're subscribed, because sometimes YouTube scrubs the channel of bots or whatever, and people get unsubscribed. And also and you can hype the video. That's really cool if you can do that. And let us know if you're doing that, because that's really supporting us. And I'm at Civil Harmony, spelled, I usually have my name on here, but I'm spelled Sibyl. It's an unusual spelling. I don't know what happened to our names. I don't know.
Oh, you got a thing up. That's why. Anytime
Okay.
you got a comment up,
Put the thing down. How do I put it down?
Just click on the highlighted message that you've got. If you just put your mouse over it, and you can just click on that highlighted message, and it'll take it away.
What do you do here? Click here.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. There's our names. Okay. Yeah.
There's
Shari Voices from the Swamp. Now, I wanted to mention I have a really cool class coming up, developing your psychic abilities, your guidance, which you need to know, reading auras. And so it's really going to be cool. And I teach that. I've been teaching for years. So check me out. It's a Zoom class. You don't have to go anywhere. and that's coming up. And then I have Practical Magic coming up on April 1st. It's going to be on a Wednesday night where I'm doing protection spells, candle work, crystals,
Oh, interesting.
essential oils and herbs, and I'm going to be giving
Yeah.
some secret tips there. And then I have members today at 12 o'clock Pacific time. So if you would like to join us, I answer questions there. We do guided healings. I put out spiritual videos on Thursdays, and I'm usually on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays with a political video or world events, whatever you want to call it. But you guys were just amazing. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And thank you, everybody, for watching till the end.
A lot of good questions.
Yeah.
If you
You have
look up
anything
at the
else before
top
we
of your,
go?
if you look up at the top of the box where we're at,
Yeah.
and you'll see where it says live
Yeah.
up there, and next to it, you'll see a number that'll tell you how many people have been in chat.
Okay. That's
And I
not how
mean,
many watched, how many people in chat?
yeah, like how many people are logged on and watching the
Okay.
show. And
All right.
and that's just a little analytical thing. You can kind of see,
Cool.
if you do some different types of topics, sometimes you can get an idea if people like it or not by how many people show up. So
Yeah. All right.
it's used for all kinds of different things, but it's interesting to see, it's
Yeah.
um
Well, let's do this again. There's good energy.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So
Absolutely.
let me
Next
know
time
when
out,
you're
I'll have Sybil on my channel and
okay.
we'll just go back and forth. We'll set something up after we're done here.
Sounds good.
And,
Okay, sweetie. Love to you all.
all right.
And
Bye,
take
everybody.
care of yourself, and we will see you soon. Bye for
You
now.
betcha. All right.